Back with another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Wonderful comments so far with the relaunch, I should say, this week of the program. Thank you for those who have reached out, and I would love to hear from you if you are a fan of the show or have some ideas about different things that you would like to see on the show. I would love to be able to pass those things along. And today's show is going to be about camping and about being outdoors, because there's so many wonderful places to be able to do that. I personally have camped in a lot of locations around Southwest Iowa. Most recently, as a matter of fact, just about 8 days ago, I was at Hitchcock Nature Center outside of Honey Creek and spent the weekend there in the tent area. I made a joke to one person who was carrying her things in that I wanted to put in an escalator to get in and out of that tent area, because it's kind of a steep walk downhill, and I don't camp light. I carry a lot of stuff, and I have a big canvas bell tent, and that thing weighs a lot. So, yeah, I got a workout going in, but that's part of the fun. Let's see, where else have I been? Arrowhead, I've camped there. Big fan of Waubonsee State Park. Love to camp down that direction. And I haven't been out to Botany Bend yet, but that is one of my goals for this year. Wilson Island, I used to love to camp up there. I haven't done that location in several years. And the reason I mentioned that is because on today's show, we have a park ranger and event coordinator for Monona County, a little bit farther north. And he is with Monona County Conservation. And there is a seminar coming up. It's the Loess Hills Prairie Seminar that will be at the end of May 30th through June 1st. This is a free event. And in fact, this is the 49th year that they've had this Loess Hills Prairie Seminar. And Tyler is going to fill you in on some of the folks that are going to be there speaking and what you can expect if you take part. I'm thinking this might be something I need to get on my calendar. So again, Tyler Ruge, Monona County Conservation, he's a park ranger and event coordinator for them. So that is coming up very, very soon. In the meantime, we have got some wonderful sponsors on the program already, and I would love to bring in more. Let me fix my collar here so I don't look so disheveled. How's that? Is that a little bit better? We have a lot of space for sponsors, and sponsors can get a ton of value along with knowing that you are supporting local communities. That's what this podcast is about. We want to let folks know more about what's going on in our area, such as this Loess Hills Prairie Seminar that we are about to learn about. So if you just send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com, I would love to have the conversation with you, let you know everything that's a part of it. The other thing, too, is that if you have a nonprofit, and I would love to just have you on for an interview. It's not something I charge for, and I would love to know more about what it is that you do for our area. So nonprofit service organizations, of course, reach out, and we'll get you on. Now, if you need precision metal fabrication done right, look no further than Foxco Fabrication. From custom welding to large-scale manufacturing, they're going to bring your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Whether it's industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication, they get the job done on time and built to last. They're locally owned, and they built to perform and made to last. FoxcoFab.com is the website. Also, if you have a leak or a clogged drain, or maybe you're planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered. With fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, they handle everything from small repairs to major installations. They're locally owned and trusted and take pride in doing the job right the first time. Residential or commercial, big or small. When plumbing problems strike, call Waldstein Plumbing. Visit waldsteinplumbing.com for a free estimate. And do you or does someone you love need in-home care? Well, there's this great company called Home Care Advocacy Network, and they can help you maintain your own privacy in your own space while still receiving care and support with a personalized touch. Aging in place can be critical for many people. Home Care Advocacy Network can meet those needs with an understanding that assisted living is best at home. HCAN of Southwest Iowa brings the personal touch to care at home. Council Bluffs, Glenwood, Red Oak, Clarinda, all the surrounding communities. Visit hcan.com/Southwest Iowa to learn more. As many of you know, we have a great park system in Pottawatomie County, but we're not the only county in Iowa that it does. Monona County also does. And with us today, Monona County Conservation Park Ranger and Event Coordinator Tyler Ruge. Tyler, thank you for your time. Grateful that you jumped on here with us because we wanted to talk to you about an event coming up that I know area people in Pottawatomie County have been to before, and also we want to encourage those who haven't heard about it to get it on their calendar as well. So this is just me rambling on a little bit at the beginning, but tell me about this event that's coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, Todd. So this is the Loess Hills Prairie Seminar. This event's been ongoing since 1977. It started real small scale, people backpacking into the hills and just doing basically workshops and just conversing about conservation in the hills. Since then, it's grown. This is going to be the 49th year this year, and we aim to bring both natural resource professionals, the general public, educators, as many people as we can together so that they can have those conversations about conservation and what's going on with our natural resources, not only in the Loess Hills of Iowa, but just in general as well.
Sometimes I believe living where we do, we take for granted the uniqueness and just how special the Loess Hills are. And what a great opportunity to learn more and also find out what we can do as far as that goes as well.
Yeah, I grew up just across the Missouri River from where I'm at now in Monona County. I grew up in Nebraska. Most of my childhood, nobody had ever talked about the Loess Hills of Iowa. That was a totally new thing. When I got hired with Monona County Conservation Board and they talked about the Loess Hills Prairie Seminar, I've never heard of it before. And I was heavily involved with, hunting, fishing, natural resource interests as a young kid and had never been introduced to this event and never really been taught about the Loess Hills. And that's something I find in my job as a naturalist when I go and talk to schools and kids, and even adults. There's a lot of people that don't really understand the Loess Hills are a very unique landform. The only other place that you find this massive deposit of loess soil on the scale that we have here in the hills is a province in China. So it's pretty unique, and a lot of people I don't think are aware of it.
And the way, from what I understand about that other place in China, they're not doing what we're doing as far as making sure that things are taken care of and preserved for future generations. Things are there are a little bit different. So it just makes this particular part of the world even that more important. What are some of the things that people can learn that they go? Because, there's a lot of folks that just like to go out and camp, but there's so much more to this than that.
Oh yeah. We take over basically one of the wildlife management areas with the DNR's help. We set up basically a campground. It's not a traditional campground, but people are able to come in. You can set up a tent, a camper, stuff like that. There is no electricity or running water or anything. It's primitive campsites, but people set up for the weekend, and we have some facilities to help support that. But we basically encourage people to just kind of hang out and just mill around and talk to people even outside of the programs, because there are a lot of people that come to this event that are tenured professors from universities and colleges that have a wealth of knowledge. There's industry professionals, natural resource professionals, partner agencies that will be around. And it's a great networking opportunity, also a great chance for people to just kind of touch base and see what's going on with conservation in the hills. We have a lot of good programs. Normally, we average somewhere around 30 different presenters throughout the weekend. And those guys and gals will give talks on just about every conversation you can think of. They're not all necessarily heavily into conservation. Some of them are more artistic, or sometimes we also have people that will do like fishing, kayaking, archery workshops where people can come out and try those things. We've had people do atlatls and flint napping before, but then we also have people that lead, bird ID hikes, or how to identify our different plants in the Loess Hills and Iowa in general. So it's a very broad topic area, but it can also be for everyone is kind of my goal, is putting this together.
How many people are you expecting?
Usually we average around 150 to 200. In the years in the past, I've been told that they've gotten as high as 300 to 400. I have not seen those numbers come back, but hopefully, now that people have kind of recovered from COVID and stuff, I'm hoping we can attract more people out to the hills for this event.
Now, you talked about it's going to be at a wildlife management area. Is like there a lot of space, and most people looking for level space and that kind of thing when it comes to camping. So, what's the facility like there?
So it's a wildlife management area. You can find this on Google Maps. Just search Loess Hills Prairie Seminar campsite, and it'll actually pull up the site. This is part of the Loess Hills Wildlife Management Area complex. The area that we prepare, we've been preparing this based off of the current size of the attendees that we get for the event, but there's two different kind of areas of the campground. A lot of people with like campers and pull behinds and stuff will park on the upper level, and then there's a lower spot that's in the trees where people with tents and a little bit more they're a little bit more mobile will set up down there. So there's kind of two level areas. It is a little rough. It's not a nice level campground like what we have in our Monona County parks, but people do make it work. So.
Now, you've been there for 3 years, so you've been a part of this before. What's some of the feedback that you've gotten from folks that have attended?
A lot of people have really enjoyed the presenters that we're able to bring to this event. Like I said, we have some of our presenters have been coming to this event for the majority of the 49 years, if not the entire thing. There's a handful that have probably been there since the start. We're also starting to get some new presenters. 49 years is a bit of a long time, so we're trying to make sure that this event can continue on into the future, hopefully for another 49 years or more. So in order to do that, we're trying to attract new and young and talented presenters as well, and we've been pretty successful with that, so people are pretty happy with our programs.
How much work goes into this, Tyler? How long have you been working on this year in order to get everything the way that it needs to be?
So this event takes up a pretty good chunk of my time. I have help as well. We have a planning committee of people that have been involved with the seminar. Some of those are those people that have been there since almost the beginning or the beginning. They help, they offer suggestions on who to reach out to for presenters, different things we can try. We've gotten some new people on board that are really well versed in marketing and outreach and stuff, so that's been phenomenal. But we start probably, I would say, the October, November of the year prior. So, this year's event, we would have started last year in the fall, October, November. And we have meetings every now and then, probably monthly or so for our different planning committees, but it takes some time. Like I said, we normally average 30 to 40 presenters. So it takes time to send those emails and phone calls to all those different presenters, see who's available, who's planning on coming back. A lot of our presenters are well established at this point, so that definitely helps, but reaching out to new presenters and new vendors definitely takes some time.
I think it's worth mentioning again, and you touched on it already, Tyler, that it's not as if people are attending a 3-day seminar and need to sit in an audience for 10 hours a day and not move and just absorb as much information as you can. You're encouraging folks to go to what interests them and go and be a part of things. And if you want to go back and forth to the campgrounds or whatever, that's how this works.
Yeah, this is very hands-on for a lot of our programs. At a minimum, they're usually leading hikes, or they might have artifacts or stuff to look at and handle. We normally aim, so we have on Saturday, we'll have 3 different times where we run concurrent programs, and normally we aim for 6 to 8 programs during each session for people to have a wide variety of options. And you don't have to be there for the whole day or the whole weekend. If you're looking at this schedule and you see one program that's like, oh man, that sounds really cool, but none of the other appeal to you, you can sure show up for that one program and then leave if you want to. But I would encourage anyone who's looking at the program schedule and sees just one program, try another one. you might be surprised what you'll find that appeals to you. But yeah, it's a very easygoing, non-formal. You can show up and you can leave as you need to.
You'd mentioned that it's a little more primitive. There won't be access to electricity and that kind of thing for a camper. But what do people need to make sure that they bring with them? Because I know you do provide some services. So what do they need to make sure that they bring?
Yeah, so we make sure that we have porta pots there. We'll have a barrel of potable water. We do bring in some meals. So the event starts Friday night, so people are pretty much on their own for supper Friday night. But then all day Saturday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, we have that taken care of, or people can bring in what they want. And then Sunday, breakfast again. So you might need snacks. You might need, if you're going to tent or run a camper, everything you need for that. Like I said, there's no electricity, there's no flowing water. We don't encourage people to bring generators just because it is kind of a quiet, secluded campground, and that can kind of ruin that atmosphere. If you have reusable dinnerware, that helps reduce waste. That's great as well. But basically, anything you would think you would need to, backpack camp without a whole lot of support. We are not far from Ottawa, the town of Ottawa, or some other towns that you could get stuff if you forget it. And also, a lot of our attendees are very welcoming and will share supplies or help people. We do have a list of recommended items to bring on our website for not only camping but also the event itself, like going out and attending some of the programs. You're going to want something to sit on, like a lawn chair or something like that. A lot of these programs, they hike out a little ways from the campground and they might stop. And so if you want something to sit on other than the grass, definitely bring something, or a blanket, or something of that nature. But there is a pretty lengthy list on our website to help people out with the first time getting to the seminar and how to be prepared.
How about parking? I would guess that if you're getting hundreds of people there, they're all bringing vehicles. So is there a place for people to be able to put their vehicle?
Yeah, so parking does become kind of an issue. So I would encourage carpooling if you can, but we do have a fairly decent amount of space to park. We make it work. A lot of people will park in either the parking lot there at the site, or they'll park around the campsite, or along the road there. There's a gravel road that people do tend to park alongside if the other spots get full. So we make it work.
It sounds like just a wonderful opportunity to get out, enjoy some nature, and also being around like-minded folks that also enjoy the same thing, because that can really add to an experience like this. And I'm assuming that this is something that you've pretty much just kind of fell in love with since taking over there and being a part of this about 3 years ago.
Yeah, this has definitely been something new. I've never been in charge of an event like this before, but with the help of the planning committee and the people on those committees that make this thing work, this has been a blast. Every year, it's a bit of a struggle getting started, getting everybody kind of organized together and getting going. But once it starts going, it's a ton of fun getting new presenters lined up, seeing what our topics are going to be, seeing what we can offer the public. This is a lot of fun. So, and a lot of the people who do show up to this from the presenter standpoint are some of our agency partners that I also get to work with on Prescribed Fire and some other activities, and I might do programs for them as a naturalist as well. So it's a lot of people that I know as well. So it's a lot of fun.
Is this something that folks need to pre-register for? Can they just show up? What's the process there?
So people are welcome to just show up. We do have a website. We're working on getting our schedule posted there. I'm hoping by the start of next week to actually have our schedule online. But you can pre-register. What the pre-registering really does is it helps to get you signed up for our email notifications. That way, when we make it available for ordering meals, because we do cater in meals for Saturday lunch and dinner, people can purchase those items and have their food catered in. That kind of puts you on a list that it makes it easy for us to get that information out to you, so you know when that announcement goes live. You can also follow our Facebook page for the seminar as well. That'll be posted there too. But yeah, so registration is not required to attend. People are welcome to just show up and attend a session or two if they want and then leave. That's fine. So
I think that also, I mean, it's get it on the calendar because we're 6 weeks away now. It starts May
yeah.
30th. I'm not even sure if we've said that yet. May 30th through June 1st. So it's that last full weekend in May. And by getting registered, it's got to be a help for you to have an idea about how many folks are going to be there. And I'm I'm excited about this. I'm going to get it on my calendar and to get up there. I think that it would be very, very interesting. And, a mutual friend Kyle is the one that introduced us to be able to make this happen. I'm sure he's going to be there. So it just looks like something that's going to fit right into my wheelhouse for the way that I decompress on a weekend. This is how I do it. And just getting all of the additional information in as well that you're going to be providing is even better. I'm thrilled that it's this close. It's not, Monona County is just up the road on I-29. It's not that far away from Pottawatomie County. So we encourage everybody in this area to make it up there as well. Tyler, anything that we've missed, anything else we want to make sure that folks know about this event?
Just the biggest thing is please check us out. If you're from Nebraska, South Dakota, if you're from outside the area, quote unquote, feel free to come over and check us out. We'd love to have you. It seems like we have this cutoff with a lot of our neighbors from Nebraska at the Missouri River. We've noticed a lot of people are very hesitant to cross that river for some reason. I promise Iowa is not, hostile territory for Nebraskans. I am a Nebraskan. I was raised in Nebraska. So, if you want to check us out, please come on over, come to a program session. We'd be happy to have you for the weekend. So it is a lot of fun. We try to make it as relaxing as possible. Like I said, a lot of our programs are pretty easygoing. We do have a lot of kids programs as well. I have invited, naturalists from other counties to come do kids programs. We also have a lot of our presenters that are, they're specializing in doing programs for children this year. So hopefully that we want to attract young families, new families to the event as well, so we can continue to have attendees in the future. So.
Well, before we wrap things up, Tyler, tell me a little bit about you. Where did your love for this come from? I'm not getting the sense that this is just a job for you.
No, this is a ton of fun. I love where I work, and I grew up in Nebraska. I grew up hunting, fishing, hiking, all that stuff as a kid. And honestly, as a Nebraskan, I never knew that Iowa had a county conservation system. I knew that, they had the State Department of Natural Resources, but I thought that was it. And unfortunately, the DNR doesn't really have a dedicated naturalist program like the county conservation system does. So I was really surprised when I came to Iowa and saw that just about every county has a county conservation board that, they have multiple positions, but one of the best ones, I think, is the naturalist position, because that gets that person into the schools, into the libraries, where they get to talk to kids and adults and just the general public about all kinds of conservation and natural resources topics. And I've had a blast in the 3 years I've been here. So I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah, back when I was young, which was like 5 years ago, the county park systems around Iowa were not what they are now. And I feel that in most areas, they rival state parks. That with the services that are provided, with everything that folks can take advantage of, it's one of the things that I love about living in the state that I do, is just how much pride is put into that. And, you go out on to any of the county park systems around the state, campgrounds are full. Folks want to get out and be able to take advantage of this. And each county has done a wonderful job of reinvesting back into these parks to make sure that everything is just the way that it needs to be. And it's exciting to be able to learn more about a place other than just directly where I live, because I'm very familiar with Pottawatomie County conservation of the park system, but all of that's going on just up the road in Monona County. And that's why I was thrilled that you agreed to come on the show and be able to tell us more about this.
Yeah, for sure. Our county park system, we hear it all the time from our campers that, they enjoy our parks. They're happy to see what we're doing in those parks, and we want to continue to offer the best experience they can have. So it's good to have that feedback.
The website, Loess Hills Prairie Seminar.com, and you can go and get signed up. And the Loess Hills Prairie Seminar going on this year, May 30th through June 1st. He is Tyler Ruge. He is a park ranger and event coordinator for Monona County Conservation. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, and we'll see you at the seminar.
Once again, that website, loesshillsprairieseminar.com, and you can make reservations to attend. Just learn more about the Loess Hills Prairie Seminar. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we're going to talk with Lexi Kramer. She's the owner of Bev's Porch in Neola. Now, for folks familiar with this business, you know that she is closed right now for renovations because she's moving locations. And I caught up with Lexi, and she's going to be on tomorrow's show, and we're going to get an update about where everything is at. And she's excited to reopen, and I'm excited for her to reopen. Lexi and I have spoken before on a previous podcast that I used to have, and I'm a big fan of hers and everything that she's doing for small business in Neola. And again, that is on tomorrow's Local Roots show. Also, wanted to let you know that we produce podcasts for other people here at Loess Hills Media and Podcast. And there is a new one out, and it is called Grief, Loss, and Life. And this is a podcast for parents who have lost a child. Both of the ladies that are on this, Chris and Candy, have experienced that trauma themselves and that tragedy themselves. And they have started a new podcast to be able to talk about it and to be able to open up dialogue for parents who are going through this horrible thing. And it's a really well done podcast. They're doing great with it. And I would encourage you to check it out. You can find it on YouTube, and you can find it across the audio version on all of your favorite audio podcast platforms. All this week, I'll be telling you about more of the podcasts that we produce here. And there's some great ones. And they've been around for a while, some of them 2 or 3 years. So that is still coming up. Podcasts created right here at home in Southwest Iowa. That's going to wrap up this show. Thank you so much for being a part of Local Roots on this Tuesday. My name's Todd Studer, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow morning.